Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. We're going to deal with Parashat Vayishlach in the Kli Yakar. So we're looking at chapter 32, Lamed Bet, Pasuk Daled, the fourth verse. I'll read it in English first and then in Hebrew. And Jacob sent angels before him to Esav his brother to the land of Seir, the field of Edom. Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav. Rabbi said Yaakov sent these malachim in front of him, before him, El Esav his brother, El Esav Echav, Arza Seir Sadeh Edom, to the land of Seir, the field of Edom. So, this is famous Rashi. Everyone knows he sent real angels. I mean, it's a little bit weird. You send people, you send messengers, but Rashi says they were real angels.
I always thought that when it says like Malach Hashem, like an angel, it's like a messenger of God. That's what an angel is. So like Malach Hashem is the messenger of God. Like Vayishlach Yaakov Malachim is it's a messenger of Yaakov. It's a messenger.
So, without any translation, just looking at the Hebrew, you might say they were just messengers, and they delivered a message, and they came back with a message, and that would be Pshat, perhaps. But Rashi's bringing a medrash that says they were actually angels. And it seems across the board, I don't know anybody who says they weren't angels. Could be there are. But I'm going to give you, 5 or 6 different, in this short paragraph, different opinions that they were, by different people, that they were angels. But the Kli Yakar is going to explain why he thinks they were angels. So let's start. Perush Rashi, Malachi Mamish. So that's what Rashi says. Very nice. So one line, 2 words. They were actually angels. Yesh Omrim. He brings another opinion. Not Rashi does, but the Kli Yakar does. Shediech min smichut shlichut zel pasuk. That you can be precise. That this is correct. This is accurate. From the juxtaposition of this sending. This is in verse Daled that we're dealing with. It's actually the first verse of our Parsha, but if you go back, I don't know how many,
It's Gimel.
No, I know it says Gimel, but it's really Daled. It's a typo.
It's here at the top of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if you go back to the previous Parsha, it says that Yaakov was on his way, and angels of God encountered him. So this verse says Malachei Elokim. It actually says the angels of God. So that's who, you can't say angels of God or angels of Yaakov, right? So 2 verses previously it says that Yaakov encountered them. V'yifga'u bo Malachei Elokim. He was on his way and encountered the angels of God. So this opinion holds that because of the juxtaposition that you just had, angels of God, 2 verses ago, so these angels must have been also angels of God. Yesh Omrim, another opinion from the word Machanayim. Machanayim is the last word of last week's Parsha, right? Where he called the place, says this is a godly camp, so he called the name of the place Machanayim. Yaakov kasher machane Elokim zeh v'yikra shem hamakom hahu Machanayim. He says the Reshi Tevos are the acronym, the letters of Machanayim. If you take them and you can spell words with them, Meoto Chayil Noto Yaakov Malachim. From that force, from that place, from the strength of that place, which we just called Machanayim, Noto Yaakov took Malachim, took these angels or messengers, but it's a godly camp. And he encountered the angels. So this is another opinion why they are Malachim Mamish, why they're actually angels.
Okay, so that's what he's doing is Roshei Tevot of Machanayim is Meoto Chayil Natan Yaakov Malachim. In other words, it's a
Nitrikun, thank you. Rabbeinu Bechaya Perish. Rabbeinu Bechaya explains, Shadiech Medechtiv. You can see it clearly from what it's written, and now this is a little crazy, V'yeshuvu hamalachim, that later on in verse 7, it says the angels returned to Jacob. But he says, Lo matzinu shahalchu. We don't actually see that they went. In other words, if you read the verse, Vayishlach Yaakov malachim lefanav el Esav, that Yaakov sent the malachim, he didn't really send them because you see that he's talking to them. In verse 5, it says he charged them, saying, this is what you're supposed to say. To my lord Esav, so said your servant Jacob, I have sojourned with Lavan, I have lingered until now, I acquired oxen, donkey, flock, servant, maidservant. I'm sending you to my lord to find favor in your eyes. And the next verse says, and the angels returned. So we don't see that they actually went. Okay, this is a little crazy, right?
Well, it doesn't say where they went from.
It doesn't say they went. It says, lo matzinu shahalchu. We don't see that we don't find that they're sent. They're actually...
Well, then where do they return from?
Exactly. That's his point. He says, lefi sha'ad shelo halchu shavu. Even before they went, they're already turned back. They've already returned. Which is means what? It'll only have been angels. Yesh lefaresh. Okay, if you're not satisfied with that,
it's just like very perplexing. I mean, I understand it's just perplexing.
So leave that as a perplexity, okay? Because you have Vayishlach. That means to me that he is assigned them to go. He didn't actually send them because we see that he talks to them, and then they return. So that's the Rabbeinu Bechaya. Yesh lefaresh. This is, I think the Kli Yakar likes this the best. There's a way to explain it like this. Shediek miloshen lefanav. It says here that Yaakov sent before him, lefanav, as if in front of him, these angels, or these agents. Shelo huskar ki imkan. The word lefanav, you only find like here. It's not mentioned except for here. Behold. Now, if you look in two other places, you have to believe me if you have your Chumash open, but it says in Numbers, Bamidbar, Kaf Yudalid, 20, verse 14, Vayishlach Moshe Malachim. Moses sent angels, but it doesn't use, he sent messengers. It doesn't use the word lefanav. These are obviously human angels that he sent, human beings that he sent, and you can see from the context over there. Okay, and also in Bamidbar, Kaf Aleph, Numbers 21:21, it's talking about Yisrael sending, but it's talking about Am Yisrael. Vayishlach Yisrael Malachim, that Israel also sent agents, not angels, but human agents. V'lo huskar lefanav. The word lefanav does not appear over there, but we do know that it appears here. Ela lefi shekan medaber malachim mamish. Right, so it's not mentioned lefanav over there. Ella lefi shekan. Here we're obviously talking, because it says lefanav, that we're talking about actual angels. And why are we talking about angels when you use the word lefanav? Shedarcham leilach lefanav, because the way of the angels are to go in front of you, before you, like it says in Shmos in Exodus 23:23, Kaf Gimel. Ki yelech machei lefanecha. God himself said, I'm going to send my angels in front of you. So this is God speaking. When God says, I'm going to send my angels in front of you, so you see that by godly angels, the word lefanecha appears in front of you. When it's human messengers, not angels, the word lefanav is mysteriously missing. It's not there at all. It's not necessary. And this is a remish lefanav tamid. Kibizman hayotam etzel Esav. This hints to the fact that these angels were constantly in front of Yaakov. They never left his presence, even at the time they were with Esav, because that's what an angel can do. An angel can be in two places at one time. V'nira b'shnei makamos rechokim zemizeh. They were actually appeared in two places that were very quite far away. There was a great distance between the two places where Yaakov was and where Esav was. This is not possible except with actual angels. Now, if, like, you didn't like what we had to say so far, and you want to say, no, when it says that the malachim return, v'yeshuvu hamalachim, that they were only responding, like the word to return, like they answered, they were responding verbally. Lashon Teshuvas Devarim. If you want to think that those words that the messengers responded or answered, Sheheshivu lo al divorov, then what did they respond? Banu el achicha. The words that they responded were we already went to your brother. So if they already went, that's what verse 7 says. The angels returned to Jacob saying, we came to your brother, and he's heading toward you with 400 men. It must be that they were already there when they even if they responded with words, that their words were, based on the fact that they had been at another place already. I don't know. This is just fascinating the way he's able to explain, because Rashi just uses two words. These were malachim mamish. You see, there's many ways, different angles to prove or to back up the idea that they were actually angels. But what he has to say, I think, is a very nice take. When you know the whole Chumash Bal Peh, and you're able to see that the word, you know the whole Tanakh by heart, you're able to see the word lafanav only applies when it's by real angels, and the other times that malachim is used, but they're not real angels, lafanav is not used, and then you get the idea across. Of course, they were there while at the same time with Esav, and therefore, even if they were returning with words, which they actually were saying they returned themselves, we had been with Esav.
Okay, so I see something else in it. Banu means we came. It doesn't say halachnu. So they haven't themselves returned. We have come to Esav, your brother. And while they are with Esav,
Yaakov, okay.
While they're with Esav, they're talking to Yaakov. Mm-hmm. So like they're two places at once. Okay? So that's why when it says Banu, if you look into that word, that seems to mean that they were still with Esav while he was talking to Yaakov. That could only happen with angels.
So they purposely used a word, or Hashem purposely used a word that cannot be used to describe human actions because it was non-human actions.
That's, this is drush, right? This is not translation. This is, if you look into the diuk of the words, you can see that you can make a story out of it. That this is the proof that they were malachim mamish.
I don't think it worked.